Maybe that worked. Did it? Did that work? Maybe that worked. I don't know. Did it work? You guys should be able to hear me now, hopefully. Tell me you guys can hear me now. Can you guys hear me now? That works. I hear you. All I care about is my the real G's got jokes, man, tonight. What's going on, dude? I tell you what, this thing, I don't know, but it is just way so much stuff with this laptop. But if you guys can hear me, that's all good. Now I've been doing got on this computer at 7:01. 7:01. YouTube, you can start a stream, you can't end the stream. Unbelievable, but I'm glad you guys can hear me now. What in the world? XRP Gal says, I can hear you. Well, I appreciate you being here tonight, miss. You Oh, this is unbelievable. Yeah, so I tested out a mic earlier today, hours ago. And this laptop, like I don't know. This laptop has a brain of its own. You have to do like 10 things. You can't just unhook something. You can't just disconnect. You got to do all kind of stuff. So, you know what I mean? Crazy. Thank you, XRP Gal. I appreciate that's good advice, as a matter of fact. Yeah, I had some good news tonight, too. I mean, this G20 thing I think is amazing. You know, the communique that came out of that I thought was outstanding. Lynette Zhang is talking about a two-tier system in the monetary system. Did you guys hear that? A two-tier monetary system. Did you hear about that? Anybody hear Lynette Zhang? Shout out to my dude XRP Darren. Darren Moore shared that. You guys hear about that? Negative interest rates, and they're talking about she was talking about some interesting stuff. Some really interesting stuff. So what we see got going on here. Sound is good. You guys can hear me good. Making sure that's all right. Yeah, of course they are, One Mullet. I don't even know how to stop them. I don't even know how to stop those other streams. I seriously don't. XRP Gal says, no, tell me more. What was the problem in Railroad G? It's probably most likely it's operator error, my dude. Most likely that's what it is. I tested out a new mic that I got yesterday. I tested it today. But when you hook something up to this laptop, it automatically kind of connects, and you have to do all this unconnecting. You can't just unplug it. You got to do all this other unconnecting in all these different settings. So, will Lynette be here tonight? That would be cool. Siege always has 3 streams at the same time, which is yeah, I don't even know how to stop them other streams. I try to go to YouTube and youtube.com/live or dashboard. Nothing works. Nova's in the building. Yes, we can hear you. Excellent. Siege is a freaking genius. What's going on, Nova? Gaming Crypto's in the building. Yeah, so that was a very interesting thing. So here, let me show you that. I'm afraid to play it because I don't know if we might have operator error again. The G20 communique is going to be outstanding. How many guys have anybody seen the communique from the G20? That was really, really interesting. Really interesting. TJ Jackson configuration, my man. Yeah, that's what it is. Like, and it's funny too, because my thoughts when I sat down here at 7, as I was going to do the live stream on my laptop computer, do my regular laptop microphone, and then I was going to tell you guys to help me test out my new microphone after the stream. I wanted to get the stream done and then have you guys help me out with that. Well, thank you, Wim Mullet. I appreciate that. So let me Let me see something here. Let's see what's good with this. Lynette Zhang was on. It's just a shout out to XRP Darren. Let me know. Make sure you guys can hear this.
To digital currency. And so I want to get your view on digital currency if you think that's, and to be specific, a government-backed digital currency, if you think that's the direction that we're going. If you do think that's the direction you're going, do you think that they'd do that to implement negative interest rates, or they would do that?
That's what they're talking about.
Oh, great. Let me get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I love the IMF is one of my favorite websites because I get reports from all the time. And they've already, in 2015, they laid out how they could
to digital currency. And so I want to get your view on digital currency if you think that's, and to be specific, a government-backed digital currency, if you think that's the direction that we're going. If you do think that's the direction you're going, do you think that they'd do that to implement negative interest rates, or they would do that?
That's what they're talking about.
Oh, great. Let me get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I love the IMF is one of my favorite websites because I get reports from all the time. And they've already, in 2015, they laid out how they could take us cashless, get us to volunteer to go cashless within weeks, their words, not mine, of the next financial crisis, because they could do it at the central bank window.
Get us to volunteer to go cashless. Did you guys catch that? The IMF is talking about a way to get us to volunteer to go cashless. The real Big G says, I broke a sweat watching the Siege look freaked out. Let me continue on. Got us to volunteer. Let's continue listening to that.
And what they would do is they would, when you would go to, they want the retail public to distribute that to the general public because they want distance between their policy choices and how you see it, so you don't equate the two. But what they talked about is if you go in to buy a cup of coffee at Starbucks, if you use your debit card or credit card or your phone, it'll be $5. If you use cash, it'll be $6. What are you likely to do? You're going to use this. You're not going to want to pay this. If you go to withdraw money from your account, there'll be a fee attached to it. It'll cost you $20 to take out 100 or whatever. If you go to deposit it, there's going to be a fee attached, right? So they're going to make you volunteer the cash. And because it is you perceive that it's your choice, you do not blame them. But they need to go negative. They need to go negative. So let me just stay on cash for a minute.
Sure.
A more current piece on taking us cashless was on how to take us into deeply negative rates, not little teeny negative rates, but deeply negative rates. And that was regarding cash. They would put a chip in the cash so that rather than charging you that overtly, when it would track whatever their negative rate was, and whenever you went to use it or deposit it, it would reflect that negative rate. So for those viewers that are thinking, because for me, I think cash is the first line of defense because that's what people are used to. Yes, it loses all value, but that's still what people are used to. So they call the current cash that's out there now cash in the wild. And it would carry a premium because it doesn't have the chip yet. So for those, really, I created a strategy for myself based upon the normal life cycle of a currency and how that works. And so everybody here, all of our precious metals consultants have been trained in that strategy. And so there's a certain level of cash, there's a certain level of barterability, there's a certain level of growth, depends on what you're doing and all of that. But cash is certainly part of it. So if anybody is considering that, they probably want to get their cash out of the system sooner than later, while it's still cash in the wild, which, right. Okay. But going back to, it would be a government, you want to call it backed, or I would say mandated, right, currency in digital form. And the IMF is actually talking about having a retail SDR, and as well as which would be for you and me, right, versus a wholesale SDR, which would be, for the banks. And I do think that's the direction we're going in. Not a Bitcoin or any of those, but it will be government mandated. Watch China. We're kind of waiting for them to come out with the first government digital currency. But yeah, because if they want you to spend money, and all of a sudden you look at your bank account today and you got $1,000 in it. Okay. Tomorrow you got 900. The day after you got 800. Well, what are you likely to do? You're likely to go put it into anything that you think can hold its value, right, better than the currency. And that's hyperinflation, whether it's hyperdeflation or hyperinflation. It's the same thing. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's a great point. I never thought about that with them putting the chip in the actual piece of paper. So if you used it, you wouldn't get the value that was you wouldn't get the nominal value. So if you go Correct. To Starbucks and your coffee is $1, let's say, if you used a piece of paper, it would only give you a credit for 95 cents or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to give credit. I mean, it's evil genius.
Yeah, right.
But look,
right.
These guys have had hundreds of years, well, at least 100 and some years, to know how to do this. And when you read their documents, they refer back to 1913. And the way that they do it then, that's the way they did it then, the way they did it in the 70s, is they keep things looking as normal as possible. So I can tell you, in July of 1971, I had a $20 bill in my pocket. In September of 1971, I got another $20 bill in my pocket. When you look at both those bills, even if it's an old one versus a brand new one, then they look almost identical. Not quite. There's a little tweak in there. But unless you were really examining that, you wouldn't notice it. Just like the gold certificate in 1912 and the Federal Reserve note in 1914, they look very, very similar. Yeah. So you just, and they keep the name.
Right.
And my bet will be that we're going to end up with two, a local one. So maybe the Fed coin or the US dollar coin or something like that, probably the dollar coin, because that's what people are used to, as well as the SDRs, which is where they really want to hold your title to all of your wealth.
Well, there you go, guys. That is a very, 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 very interesting take on what she believes is going to take place. SDRs, local and wholesale, as well as the digital dollar. Don't you think it's interesting that she said US dollar coin? Don't you think that's interesting? Is the US dollar coin the one that comes from Gemini and the brothers? Is the USDC is the one that comes from the Winklebosses? And that Gemini exchange, is that theirs? Is that the one? Anybody knows? Siege, USDC, I know. United States dollar coin. Who put out the USDC? Was that people from Gemini? William Leather's like, she's full of crap, never happens. So you don't think either one of those is going to happen? You don't think the Fed coin is going to happen or the US dollar coin is going to happen? William Leather? XRP Lava says there's a couple handfuls of Einsteins, but no experts as of now. That's right. Yeah. Danny Kephart is in the building. What's going on, Danny? Circle. USD coin. Yeah. XRP Gal says it's scary. So USDC is from Circle. Gemini has his own coin. Okay. The US dollar coin from Circle. I wonder how much pull and stuff those guys have. Very, very interesting. I listened to that earlier today, and I thought I have to share that with the community here, because I remember when I listened to Sam I Am, to the Lifeboats, love him or hate him, right? He talked about this two-tiered system, maybe even over a year ago, and how the powers that be, were going to make the dollar secondary, inferior to any digital coin or digital asset. And if they do this negative interest rate, which we all know the Donald has been calling for this negative interest rate. He keeps pushing for this negative interest rate. But could you imagine? Could you imagine? I mean, the whole, putting the chip in and, in the fiat currencies, I don't know, but I could definitely see the negative interest rate. I could definitely see that. XRP Joe is in the building. XRP Gal is in the building. Make sure I got everyone coming in. I thought I saw Dark. Sam Beckett is in the building. What's going on, Sam? Frog in the Well is here. Good to see you, Frog in the Well. Thought I saw Dark Matter. Thought I saw that. But guys, I mean, this is a lady who knows. This is a lady in the know. Doesn't mean that it's going to play out exactly like she talks about, but we all have been following DNI, Digital Nomad Investor, and how Rickards had mentioned to him that there was going to be an ESDR. Didn't know how it's going to play out, but there was going to be an ESDR. So, Dark Matter Trading Group, I'm here. What's up? What's good with you, man? I thought I saw you in the stream. Appreciate you hanging out. I thought I saw you say something earlier. Good to see you. The Thunder Sound is in the building. What's going on, the Thunder Sound? The Thunder Sound says the USD is an Ethereum token. There goes your gas. Negative interest rate protocol. What up, Siege? What's good with you, man? So, so that's a possibility. I'm trying to catch up on you guys' comments here on the stream. It's a real possibility. Again, the ESDR is not new to us. The Fed coin, or whether it's going to be the US dollar coin, negative interest rates have been brought up time and time again by the Donald. He's been pushing forward. She's talking that the IMF is thinking about these things, and they've been thinking about this ESDR and this, this kind of tiered system for dollars and digital cash, digital money since 2015. Since 2015, guys. And so, that's just some food for thought. I want you guys to think about it. What I mainly wanted to talk to you guys about was the communique that came out of the G20. That's right. Danny Gephardt, that's a great point. Danny Gephardt says, keep in mind that the central banking system could be kicked to the curb and the Fed inserted into the Treasury Department. Yes, it can. I thought it was interesting. I have a good friend that actually is Secret Service, and they I think did she say they moved back to the Treasury Department, or they had been with the Treasury, but they handle like finance and stuff as well as the CIA. It's just not all protecting these politicians. Yeah, and she talked about wholesale and retail, right? So like these two forms, one private, I guess, amongst themselves, and then there would be a retail to it as well. So it'd be two different things. Wrangler Ross says the USD coin is run on Stellar. Is it really? Yeah. So something is going to come out, right? So no, but the USDC, the Thunder Sound, she was suggesting that it might be called that. It would be the Fed coin, but she thought the Fed coin might be called the US dollar coin. But she's not talking about the USD coin that we know that's already out there in the digital asset. She probably doesn't even know that there's something called the USDC coin already in digital asset. I don't think she knows. I don't think she knows that. Let me see. That's Sam Beckett. There you go. Smart man. He says at Crypto Seas, yeah, Secret Service is moving back to the currency protection enforcement. They have a piece under Homeland too. Yep, absolutely. She mentioned that. And I wanted to talk to her again because as soon as she said that, because I saw somewhere, I read somewhere about that, and I wanted to ask her if she knew, in fact, if they talk about digital assets at all over there. We went over to the right, going back to the Treasury Department. She and he, they need to be in the know about what's going on in digital assets. All right, so let's check out this communique, because in this communique, I found some really very, very, very interesting stuff about what Ripple has claimed that they have transitioned into. And I just thought, isn't that interesting, the whole timing of that? The whole timing of making that point. The whole timing of that from Brad Garlinghouse mentioning that he didn't even say transition. I mean, I'd never heard of this blockchain infrastructure company. Never heard of that before. Never heard of that before. Let me show you some stuff from the G20 communique. I found to be very, very interesting. Now, this is not it. This is just an article from news.bitcoin.com talking about the G20 kicks off the 2020 discussion on cryptos, urges countries to apply the FATF standards, which I thought is massive. The G20 finance ministers and central bank governors had their first 2020 meeting this weekend in Saudi. They discussed cryptos and stablecoins and issued a statement urging countries to implement the crypto. Urging, right? Urging countries to implement the crypto standards set by the Financial Action Task Force. They will also inform that the FSB, Financial Stability Board, will soon issue its own cryptocurrency regulation. So let me pull up something for you guys. See if I bookmark that or. So there it is there, the communique, the G20 finance ministers and central bank governors meeting. So this is a 7-page PDF in here. Make sure you guys can see that. Okay, you can. I'm not going to read all of this, but I just want to kind of point out, number one, what is it? Is it beer cold? Is that what we're calling? Apparently we can't mention the word. So I heard the Bearable Bull called the COVID-19 beer cold, the beer cold. So I'm going to call it the beer cold also. But I notice how that's front and center. Front and center. Right? We will enhance global risk monitoring, including of the recent outbreak of the beer cold. We stand ready to take further action to address these risks. Front and center, guys. But here's something that I found to be very, very interesting. A couple, 3 times, or maybe even 3 or 4 times, they mentioned the word infrastructure. Here's one of them. Infrastructure is a driver of economic growth and prosperity. Infrastructure is a driver of economic growth and prosperity, which can be further enhanced through technology. The benefits of more widespread use of technology in infrastructure are substantial. It improves investment decisions over the life cycle, enhances value for money of infrastructure projects, and improves the efficiency in building, operating, and maintaining quality infrastructure for the delivery of better social, economic, and environmental outcomes. We agreed to develop an infrastructure technology agenda to support the utilization of technology in infrastructure. Isn't that interesting that this comes out right after Brad Garlinghouse is talking about we are a blockchain infrastructure company. Isn't that interesting? I find that to be very, very fascinating. We reaffirm our previous commitment and efforts, and we will advance our work towards our strategic direction and high aspiration as outlined in the G20 Principles for Quality Infrastructure Investment. We will also continue to advance the implementation of the roadmap to infrastructure as an asset class. What? Including a focus on the regulatory framework for private sector participation in infrastructure investment. Let me read that again. We will also continue to advance the implementation of the roadmap. Continue to advance the implementation of the roadmap to infrastructure as an asset class, including a focus on the regulatory framework for private sector participation in infrastructure investment. You guys, you see what I'm seeing? Are you guys hearing what I'm hearing? Clean off your webcam. What the world? Are you guys hearing what I'm hearing? You guys couldn't see that? Yeah, that's right. X-Ray Labs sees, just like changing the name to ODL. Blockchain technology company. Blockchain infrastructure. He said we were a blockchain infrastructure company. Are you guys hearing what I'm saying? There it is, right? I think this is a massive statement here. Massive statement. There it is there again. Infrastructure is a driver of economic growth and prosperity, which can be further enhanced through technology. The potential benefits of more widespread use of technology and infrastructure are substantial. It improves investment decisions over the life cycle, enhances value for money of infrastructure projects, and improves the efficiency in building, operating, and maintaining quality infrastructure for the delivery of better social, economic, and environmental outcomes. We agree to develop an infrastructure technology, infratech in parentheses, an infrastructure technology agenda to support the utilization of technology and infrastructure. We reaffirm our previous commitments and efforts, and we will advance our work towards our strategic direction and high aspiration as outlined in the G20 principles for quality infrastructure investment. We will also continue to advance the implementation of the roadmap to infrastructure as an asset class, including a focus on the regulatory framework for private sector participation in infrastructure investment. Do you see? Are you reading what I'm reading? Are you catching what I'm catching from this? And just before this comes out, Brad Garlinghouse is on CNN, I believe it was, with Judy Chatterley, and said we're a blockchain infrastructure company. What other company has said that they're a blockchain infrastructure company? I don't believe I heard Dan Larimer from EOS say that. Did Hoskinson from Cardano say that? I don't think he did. What about Justin Sun from Tron? I don't think he did either. What about Vitalik? Anyone else calling themselves a blockchain infrastructure company? Anybody else calling themselves a blockchain infrastructure company? This is what they're calling it, an asset class. Legendary says, I'm smelling what you're cooking. They are rebranding XRP Joe. That's a great point. They are rebranding for the next tier. Again, setting themselves apart from the crowd. So what I'm hearing, bro XRP, is they know that this is the next move in this digital asset space. And that is to be an infrastructure, a blockchain infrastructure company, where they go out and implement the infrastructure for the globe. For the globe. I think it's interesting. I was listening to the DTCC today and they were talking about having even with this technology and this permissioned ledgers, that they needed a central entity to oversee that permissioned ledger, not a permissionless one, for example, like the blockchain technology, but a permissioned one. And which other means is certain people that have to get permission to use it, and there will be a central body that oversees it. And now Ripple is calling themselves a blockchain infrastructure company. And the people from the G20 are talking about advancing the implementation of the roadmap to infrastructure as an asset class. And they didn't forget to leave the private sector participation in infrastructure investment out. They didn't forget to put that in. This is where they are going. This is where they're going. They have just announced to the world, private sector infrastructure asset class. Yeah, it could mean a lot of things, XRP Lobby, you're correct. But the fact that Brad Garlinghouse made a point to state that they are a blockchain infrastructure company. Last I heard, they were a fintech technology company selling software. Now they're a blockchain infrastructure company. And then not even a couple days later, here comes the G20 communique, and they're talking about infrastructure investment as an asset class. And the private sector, they didn't leave the private sector out of that. I just find that to be very fascinating. Crypto Don Juan, what's going on, my friend? Good to see you. Crypto Delivery is in the building. What's going on, Crypto Delivery? That's an interesting. It's only 7 pages, but that was the most interesting part of that whole 7-page PDF. Trey Houser's in the building. What's good with you, Trey? Guys, 63 people on the stream and 33 likes. If you didn't get a chance to smash a like on the way in, please just collapse the chat real quick. Go smash that like and then come back and hang out into the chat. Will XRP, what's good with you, Will XRP? Good to see you. I don't think I've seen you in the stream before. Love your channel. Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I'm happy to be here. I just something about that, right? It's just something about the timing of that, right? It really is. It's just something about the timing of that. Yeah, bruh, XRP, exactly. All in conjunction with this Black Monday in the markets, right? No, Win Mullet, I did not find the answer to that question. Crypto delivery, always tip your delivery person $4 and up. Yeah, I always do that. Don't you find that to be very, very, the timing of that is interesting. Now, the market is down. That's without question. I heard about the market. TJ Jackson says the timing of all this is no coincidence. How many guys are kind of feeling the fact that they're really wanting to highlight this beer cold, as the Bearable Bull likes to call it, this thing that's happening in China that apparently YouTube won't let you mention the name of it, because if you do, they kind of strike you up or take the video down. How they're using this to kind of say this is going to be kind of like, they're using this to say this is going to be the downfall of the market. This is causing the market to kind of collapse, if you will, right? Other nations can't operate. You know, we can't import anything from China, right? Businesses, all these United States businesses that do business in China, actually in China doing business, they can't do business. They're shut down as well. China does have a huge export thing going on over there. So frog in the well is getting real this year. Yeah. I just think yeah, it is a long shot. And for me, that's a good point, Harley Cass. Crypto Seas, they could just make up a new crypto and not use any of the current tokens out there. Hopefully they do use XRP, but it's a long shot. I do believe it's a long shot, but I don't believe they're going to do the closest thing that I think they're going to do new is some kind of Fed coin thing. They adopt technology. They don't just they adopt technology. They don't create new things. And I think the reason why they keep emphasizing private companies, private participation, private sector collaboration, public-private collaborations, because they know they need the Ripples of the world. They need the R3s of the world to get this stuff done, to implement this, to build it, to create it. Now, do they want to oversee it? Absolutely. They're not going to do something like run something on the blockchain technology where anyone can get on there and kind of do it. No, they're going to want certain few people on this particular technology to manage it and oversee it. So this whole idea of adopting, the IOP and deeming the IOP and the XRPL ledger as a public good is just is seeming to me more and more and more and more obvious. This is what they're looking to do because it's already there. And so much of the work, Ripple has done so much of the work in terms of regulation and working with the regulators and working with these banks and being able to communicate with them and getting them comfortable and more familiar with their technology. They're not trying to go try and learn another thing. So I don't know where Ripple and its software and ODL and the ledger and the IOP and the digital asset is going to fit in, but it's going to fit in somewhere. It's going exactly. The XRP-L SNAT XRP is already here. And the urgency of the global financial crisis, and the urgency from, the sentiment that the U.S. is falling behind. It's just, I don't think they don't have enough time to go and try and create something themselves and have it be fail-proof. I don't think they have enough time to do that. In my humble opinion, I just don't think they have enough time. Dave of the day, what's going on, my friend? I don't think I've seen you here before. What's going on? What about Stella fitting? I don't know. I don't know where Stella's going to fit in. I can't say that it's not, but I just don't know. Yeah, TJ Jackson. Yeah, I mean, when you see Ripple being mentioned time and time again in different documents, time and time again, I just think that means something. I think that has weight to it. And the ILP is gifted to the W3C already, Frog in the Well. That's correct. Well, David, today you just started yesterday with me. All right, I appreciate you being here, bro. Appreciate you being here big time. Make sure you get a chance, if you can, to tune in to Wednesdays. It's Wealth Wednesdays on this channel, where we talk about generational wealth strategies every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. You definitely want to tune into that, if anything at all. Marwan Abu Shaba. What's going on, my friend? Good to see you in the stream. Hi, good videos. How are you doing, bro? And you out there, good people, though. Doing outstanding, brother. Appreciate you being here, Marwan. Black Swan event. Who said that? That was Grad Garlinghouse. That Grad Barlinghouse. What's going on, Grad? I mean, it's just hard to see them going in any other direction. Again, I think, I've said this 1,000 times. The global economic crisis has zero patience and waits on no one. And so whether we're talking the ODL or whether we're talking, you got to think about it, right? Ripple has the ODL, they have the ILP, they have the XRPL, and they have XRP. Right? And when you get an article after article talking about how liquid XRP is, and we get this economic crisis that's about to take place, and they know that there's an option to free up trillions of dollars, and they know there's this product out there from this private technology or blockchain infrastructure company that can free up trillions of dollars. Look, Mnuchin and Powell and the Donald, they're going to be able to explain that to the masses, how the ODL works and what it can do. I don't know, Fed now, I don't know. But when you think about ODL, global liquidity solution, you think about the ILP, connecting the networks of the world together. You talk about the ledger and moving anything of value on it that has been fail-proof, no errors, no anything, no issues, and it's KYC, AML, and CFT. No issues. 51 million transactions? No issues. None. Zero. Nada. Not one. And you got the greatest digital asset to work with the banks in this cross-border amongst all these central bank digital currencies. Just pick one, right? Just pick one. GXRP, what's going on, my friend? Star in the making is here. What's going on? Star in the making. You know, like Ripple can say, just pick one. Look, the ODL has a solution to a problem. The ILP has a solution to the problem. Remember, the people from the WEF are talking about more inclusive, being more inclusive, bringing the worlds together, banking the unbanked, and all of this. And how are they going to be able to do that? That's the ILP. Then you got the XRPL ledger for these payments or anything of value that is transparent, that is fail proof, that's immutable, that's scalable. There's a reason why the SEC is running the node. There's a reason for that. And then you got XRP. Just ask MoneyGram how that's going. Just ask the people from Bitso how that's going. I mean, just pick one. Bro XRP says, Siege, I wonder if that's why the Donald was in India today. Maybe to let them know, oh yeah, the crap is about to go down, but we got your back, homie. It's called XRP. I gotta tell you, bro XRP, I just feel like, listen, love him or hate him, I just think that President Donald Trump has a plan. And I cannot see how he is going to let the opportunity for the good old US of A to come to the rescue with this great American company that has this phenomenal, I can just hear them. They have phenomenal technology. They're the good guys. They're great. And Brad and David, they're just great. I could just hear him. I could just hear him. I don't see how he's going to let something, ODL, the ILP, the XRPL, the XRP itself, he's not, it would be the greatest failure, the greatest slip up in the history of the presidency to let this slip out of his hands. I just don't see that. Like, I just don't see it. TJ Jackson said it's a no-brainer. Like, I don't see how they let this slip by their hands. And by the way, why is the ex-CEO of the DTCC on the board of Ripple? Why? Why? Why is he on the board of Ripple? You ever think about that? You ever think about some of the people on the board of Ripple? Like, why are they on the board of Ripple? Raham Emmanuel's favorite quote. What was that? I missed that, bro. XRP. What was that one? I forgot it if I knew it. How did they? Do you understand what I'm saying, guys? How does the Donald let that slip by? The boiling crypto's in the building. What's up with you, my friend? What's up, Mullet? I've been looking into everything blockchain today. We are in interesting times, without question. Good to see you, the boiling crypto. Steve Hughes says that plan will happen before the election. I agree. Harley Cash, and I would say this to you. I'll read this out to you. Harley Cash says, Crypto Siege, the current problem with XRP is the price. Not enough price value to solve all value transfer. If XRP was worth $1,500, then it would solve the ODL problem, or lack of the right. It would solve the liquidity problem, right? And here's what I would say to you, Harley Cash: if you know that, and I know that, and David Schwartz says the price, in order for this to work, the price needs to be high, then they know that. And if they know that, and they have access to it, They can figure out a way. Look, if they understand this is the problem is down all the way down here. And they understand that the answer is over here. And the problem is we have to get this to this. That they will figure out a way. They'll put things in place to make that more understandable. Right? They can talk about, and remember one thing that I think is really huge, and I think it's so important to bring this up. Glenn Hutchins says, and I love this, he said too many people are focused on the price of the digital asset. Right? He said that's distracting and uninformative. The value is in the protocol. The value is in the protocol. So if they take the protocol, the XRPL, for example, and they say something about this protocol, and we're going to put everything on it, what is that going to do to the digital asset XRP itself? Everything's on it. They burn in it, right? Every time they do transactions on that thing, they burn some. Right? What if SBI comes out and starts using it, or another RippleNet partner announces something and they're using it, right? All of these companies can be pointed to. The masses could look to those and say, oh, they're using XRP in this ODL? Oh, okay. That makes sense. The NASDAQ can point to that, right? Everybody is going to be able to look at something that they understand and they get when the Donald or Mnuchin or Powell or Clayton brings up, when they mention finally something, ODL, XRP, ILP, XRPL, they're going to be able to point and say, look, this company, you guys know MoneyGram. You know what I mean? There's a reason why Julia Chatterley is look, Julia Chatterley doesn't run CNN or whatever station she's on, right? You guys get that, right? She doesn't run that, right? There's someone else who runs that and who owns that. Why are they constantly having Brad on? There's a reason for that. There's a reason for it, right? Because there are other smart CEOs in this space. And there are other smart CEOs who are talented, who have great projects going on currently. Why isn't Sonny Liu from VChain on CNN? Why aren't they calling him, asking him to show up and share his technology? He's doing his thing. Why aren't the CEOs of Coinbase and Binance, why aren't they invited? I mean, why aren't they invited on the, on all these tech channels to talk about what they got going on? And an overall view, an overall blockchain, an overall knowledge of this space. You think Brad Garlinghouse has the best overall knowledge of this space and what's going on? I think not. I think not. No, he's the talking point. He's the talking head. He's the face of this space for a reason. He is the face of this space for a reason. It's just like D&I says how Lagarde, how they were wanting to get Madame Lagarde when she was the head of the IMF. They wanted to keep getting her out in front of the masses, becoming more likable. That's exactly, in my opinion, exactly what they're doing with Brad Garlinghouse, making him likable. to the masses. There's a reason why XRP is the single most searched digital asset in Google right now.
I found these results.
Yeah. Somebody's listening to me over here. Google found some results from me, right? There's guys, right? There's a reason for that. Even if Julia is running back to her bosses and their bosses' bosses say, hey, I'd like to get Brad on, they still got to approve it. They still got to give the go on that. Who do you think they're going to get their answers from? You know what I'm saying? Why isn't Vitalik? Why isn't Vitalik all over CNN and MSNBC and all these other different things? Genius of a young kid. Why aren't they inviting him and showing him off all over the world and all this? Why aren't they bringing him in on the major networks? Right? You got to think about that. Soon to be a household name, TJ Jackson. That's exactly right. Bro, XRP, that's so funny. I watched Mobsters. You guys remember Mobsters? With was it Aiden Quinn? I think. Is it? No, not Aiden Quinn. Anthony Quinn, maybe? The older guy. I think he's passed away now. Remember Mobsters? Constantly, we're having the Don. Everyone had to come and kiss the Don's hand. Remember that? One of the great ones from a while back. That's Brad Garlinghouse, baby. That's Brad Garlinghouse. That's our CEO, by the way. Listen to Susie Cruz today from Esoteric Trading Solutions. She's being interviewed by Jerry Hall from On the Chain. And let me tell you something. This is one smart lady. She is so impressed with the technology and the company and the corporate and all of that of Ripple. Like she is dumbfounded by the price. Like it makes zero, absolutely, from all of her market experience. She's dumbfounded by this price, which to me says there's a bigger play to it all. Siege, Cryptodovia says, Siege, funny throwback. Yeah, Brad XRP said that Brad Garlinghouse is going to be having, what did he say? That was so funny. The world is going to deem Brad Garlinghouse as the godfather. They're going to be kissing the ring. That's exactly right. You see, you understand what I'm saying, guys? And this is what I'm saying. Pick one. Look, in fact, I think that's my new tweet. That's my new hashtag. You guys know I have two hashtags whenever it's not often, but whenever I do get on that madness that is Twitter, I have two hashtags. One hashtag is the real use, or not but real use case. Hashtag real use case. The other one is hashtag the champ is here. The champ is here. Now, my new hashtag is going to be, I think I'm going to do something like ODL, ILP, XRPL, XRP, hashtag just pick one. I think I might do that. Hashtag just pick one. You know what I'm saying? So, and then in that G20 thing as well, they got a few dates in there. They got April as a date. I think we're supposed to be hearing something from the Financial Stability Board in April. Then they got wanting something to be implemented in October of 2020. They're moving forward. And by the way, there was let me see if I can find that quote that I thought. Yeah, this is the one. The FSB, the Financial Stability Board, is resolved to quicken the pace of developing the necessary regulatory and supervisory responses to these new instruments. The FSB is resolved to quicken the pace. It will issue a draft report on regulatory issues and possible responses for public consultation in April. Danny Kephart says ODL underscore siege. Danny, so listen, I'm going to order that thing in a couple of weeks. I got a microphone, but I think what you're telling me overall is that the stuff that you're suggesting I get is just going to really take some of the burden and perhaps even help with, I guess, less burden on this. Maybe will make this software that I'm using, OBS, perform better. So that's probably another good thing. But yeah, I just got a real inexpensive mic, a blue snowball thing. I think it's called a snowball mic with a stand. I haven't tested it out yet. I mean, I haven't like tested it out live yet. I just hooked it up to the computer. And by the way, as soon as I hooked it up to the computer, it connected and all this different things. And next, I can't just unplug it. I have to almost uninstall it. So yeah. And so they suggested, Danny, that plug in the USB directly to the laptop. You would agree? It's hogging resources. That's exactly it. Right. Yeah. You need to move the audio off of the USB port. You mean from the USB port of the computer? Because I'm using a it's funny you should say that, Danny, because I'm using a USB that has like 4 USBs to it, like a little portable one. So I didn't have it ported up directly to the laptop. I had it on this little other thing. But the paperwork said that I shouldn't put it on that other thing, that I should hook it up directly. The boiling crypto, but you got a Mac, my friend. That's a big difference. I got like a little Lenovo. It's a little bit, it's a little bit bigger and more powerful than an iPad, but it's still. Yeah. So yes, it's funny because the paperwork when it came with the snowball mic, it said don't hook it up to one of those, those little portable ports that where you hook 3 or 4 different things up to that port and then put the other end of the port to the laptop. They're like, don't do that. They said plug it directly into the laptop. See, you're saying something different, right? You said it needs to be on the USB port externally via an audio interface. Yep. And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna want to get together when I order that stuff. And I'm definitely gonna do that because I see the need for the interface. The interface just makes sense to me because this laptop it's just not able to handle streaming software, different kind of mics, all these different things. So the less demand I can put on the laptop, the better. Yeah, right. So someone said they had the mic and they love it. Who said that? Oh, the Boiling Crypto says he has that mic and he loves it. Good. That's good to know. But yeah, so I won't be trying to test it during this stream, but I will try to test it on another one. And hopefully, using this external mic will help some with the issues. But guys, that is where we are. I just really believe it. You guys like my new hashtag? That's my new hashtag right there. Just pick one. I love it. And the market's down. I listened to the blockchain backers today. He's like, yeah, he said they're in wave 5 of 5 waves in the stock market, and it's inevitable for it to come crashing down. A smart guy, definitely hedged, right? He's hedged and got some gold and silver, and he's in the digital asset space, so nicely hedged. Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. That's definitely the issue. Crypto Delivery sees, check out. Oh, is that IRIG2? Crypto Delivery? Starting to make it. Yeah, that's on to the lifeboats. That's what he has on his thing, doesn't it? Yeah, on his thing. Patience is not the ability to wait, but the ability to keep a good attitude while waiting. Anonymous. That's why we must wait, but rest assured things keep happening. Yeah, for audio. Or okay, gotcha. Yeah, I got something in line that I'm gonna take Danny up on his recommendation, and I'm gonna order that. It's a good price. It's bundled up. I'm definitely gonna get that. I had to I had to show Miss Crypto Siege that I was willing to go the inexpensive route first. You know how that is, right? You gotta, right? Yeah, yeah, baby. I went the inexpensive route first, and it's just not the, so. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where we are, guys. I hope you're excited about it. I hope you're excited about it. And we don't, the price set is still there as an option. I really believe that. I still believe that that is an option. John Stoops is in the building. What's good with you, John Stoops? I really believe we can't still take that off the table. Look, when they talking about, when the G20 people are talking about, they're going to be holding the FSB. They're urging, when they say they're urging countries to implement the FATF standards, that's code for you guys better get this done. Dave of the day, thanks for the $5 super chat, my friend. Interface money. Thank you. I appreciate that, Dave. Appreciate that big time, my friend. That Canadian dollars, I appreciate that, my friend. The Bullet CEO is in the building. What's going on, Bullet CEO? Sir Captain Sticks is here. I am so excited I can't shut up about it. I know. Yep, exactly. I got that bundle. It's in the cart on Amazon, Danny Kephart. It's in the cart on Amazon. Eli says, finally got the Sacred Cow book. Good for you, Eli. It's good stuff thus far. I got to tell you, it really is good stuff so far. It's about mindset. It really, really is about mindset. Guys, Wealth Wednesdays, we recommended a new book. It's called Killing the Sacred Cows by Gary Gunderson. Great read. That's the kind of stuff we're going to be covering in future Wealth Wednesdays. By the way, guys, I will be doing on this channel probably be short videos via Zoom. Zoom didn't work on my upload today for some reason. But on how to set up a Coinbase account, how to get a Ledger Nano, all of those kind of things, very similar to the Crypto Dad. So I will be doing those again because I think it's important to kind of do that as well. We've been in the space for a bit. We know a lot of these things already, but I know there's a huge segment that's about to come into the space, and we want to start educating them. The Fed Reserve will pump 100 trillion tonight. Wow. I'm feeling so. Danny Kephart says, "Cool, thank you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, man. Scoped it out, all of that stuff. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I know it's a long-term play with that, right? And that's why I appreciate you recommending it because I know that's a long-term play, or at least for a good long while versus things like the snowball mic. And I get it, it's very entry level. It certainly will be better than me yelling at the laptop, but I know what you recommended is more of a long-term play, quality, and the whole 9 yards. So there it is, guys. A blockchain infrastructure company and Lynette Zhang talking about a two-tier system. One that To the Lifeboats, Sam I Am talked about at least a year ago, if not longer. Two-tier system where cash is going to be, you're going to be given a choice, but it's going to be deemed secondary. Hey, if they're talking about going to negative interest rate, and they're talking about one day your $100 in the bank is going to be $90. Whoa, how long are you going to keep keeping that cash? Oh, another thing that she said that I thought was important, that, we don't know if this is going to happen. We don't know. But she's talking about the cash that they got out there now. It's called the Wild Wild West cash, if you will. But the new cash, once they start implementing this negative interest rates and going forward with this chip, quote unquote, is a different kind of cash. And they'll be able to, deposit it, take it out, whatever it's going to, with this chip in there, it's going to be doing some really crazy stuff. So if you have that cash, like if you have $120 billion in cash, like, what's his name? The old guy. I forget his name now. Then you're good. A lot of the billionaires here are going more and more to cash. Yeah, it's lifetime. Yeah, it's a lifetime, Mike. Exactly. And that's what I figured it was. Morris Princey 7's in the building. What's good with you, dude? It's a freaking lock. XRP is what will bury all the screw-ups and financial crimes committed against people of all nations. Done deal. I hear you, man. Yeah. Jared XRP says, the bull run in April? I don't know. Warren Buffett, yeah, that's the dude. 120 billion in cash, just laying around, just waiting for this collapse to come so he can snatch up stuff on the low, on the cheap. That's exactly what he's going to be doing. That's okay. Market cycles come and they go, right? So we're gonna be doing our moon thing for hopefully for another 2 years, a bull run thing. Hopefully, start getting in positions where we can have some cash. Not quite 120 billion yet, but we can have some cash for the next downturn because it's coming. Yes, I saw that, Sir Captain Sticks. That was Dan Pena. I saw that. Yeah. Sir Captain Sticks says, "See, did you see that trillionaire guy says run the F away from Bitcoin and claims he knows created it?" Yeah. Yeah. I did see that. It's pretty funny. I know, Dave, you're not able to unless you're a moderator to link anything. It won't show up, brother. Warren freaking Buffett. So one day we'll be in a position to say that as well, right? 120 billion. So guys, what are you thinking? I went from 2 or 3 digital assets. I got a portfolio now of 10 digital assets now. I'm sticking with those 10 and I'm riding it. 10. I'm doing the 5 coins to 5 million. I'm going to see how that goes. And then I got my ones. Oh yeah, sure. That's a good idea, Wimmo. Yeah, just email it to me, Dave of the Day. If you want to email that, you can email it to me. There's my email right there, cryptosiege@protonmail.com. Shout out to John DePont, who showed up on the Ponder John, who showed up on the channel the other day. Was that not exciting? That was an absolute good time. So yeah, guys, 10. Yeah, I'm going with 10 because I think for this bull run, there's going to be a lot of winners. Altcoins are going to do their thing. We're going to do their thing. We're going to see how this 5 coins to 5 million turns out. GXRP says he's staking XRP on Celsius now. How about that? I love that Celsius now platform. I'm telling you. I was reading something. Oh, by the way, absolutely, with Mullet, we're going to definitely get him on. He did message me as well on He emailed me. So, and I mean, not emailed me. He DM'd me, and we talked a little bit on the DM. So hopefully he's going to email me as well. But I was looking at online banking stuff, right? Apps and these different things like that. Because I heard of Jeff. I think Jeff said his son, Jeff, I should just say who it is, Jerry Hall, said his son was using something called Aspiration app, and how, with the benefits and, all these less fees and all those different things like that. And it talked about 1 point something percent for savings, right? This kind of like a checking savings combination. 1 point something percent on your money, something like that, 1.5. And it sounded all great and everything, because they reimburse, quote unquote, any ATM fees. That's cool. If you have $1,000, average $1,000 a month monthly, you get this 1.5%. You get if you use the card, you get cash back for using the card at certain locations. That type of deal. All that is great for younger people and all different stuff like that. But when I heard them say how this 1 point something that they were getting on their money was outstanding, I just remember thinking about Celsius and thinking to myself, wow, take that fiat dollar, put it in a stable coin, you can get up to 8% on that money. It's feeling more and more like a no-brainer. I did, Frog in the Well. I did. And I did because I was familiar with two of those. In fact, one of them I was familiar with from a long, long time ago. And I always wondered if it would be around 2.5, 3 years later. And it's still around. So yeah, I did. I did. And what I'm going to do with those is I'm going to put somewhere between 500 and 1,000 on each one and just see. And I don't think there's a need for me to put any more money on those than that. And we'll see. We'll see a year later from now or 2 years from later from now. But yeah, and the reason why I did it, Frog in the Well, is because he was the one who turned me on to XRP. I didn't even know about XRP. He was the one who turned me on to XRP. And I learned via the same kind of program message show like he did with the 5 coins, but they only just mentioned one. Years back, I don't know how long ago it was, 2 years back, XRP was the one out of the 5 that he mentioned. Yep. And he didn't even call it XRP. He called it Ripple. Yep. I think might have been 13 cents or something. Maybe 20 cents, but I think it was 13 cents. Yep. So I'm playing a hunch. I'm playing a hunch on that. So I'm playing a hunch on that. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, up to 10 digital assets now. So we'll see. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to wrap this up. I've been going too long. It's been an absolutely great hangout. And I wanted to give you guys some extra time, especially for you guys putting up with my madness, at 7 o'clock, which is total madness. So, but I got to get ready. I got to go pick up Miss Crypto Siege from the airport. And, yeah, so she's getting in really, really midnight, so I got to get ready, get prepared for that. So again, thank you guys so much for putting up with the madness that is the audio challenges and streaming challenges. And I still got to figure out how to stop those other streams. So we shall see. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to wrap this one up. It's been fun hanging out. I definitely appreciate you guys. Again, putting up with all my manners throughout the stream. TJ Jackson, brother, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Well, XRP, I appreciate you hanging today, my friend. Search Captain Sticks, it's good to see you as always. Dave of the day, appreciate you hanging out, my friend. Domino Games, thanks for hanging out, man. Ripple looks really good. They really do. Dark Matter Trading Group, appreciate you being here. Dave of the day, I will check that out, by the way, in an email. Unknown Revolver, thanks for hanging out. Win Mullet, appreciate all your help as always, brother. Jackie 33, it's good to see you, miss. Frog in the Well, appreciate you being here. XRP Lava, thanks for hanging out. XRP Joe, appreciate you being here. John Stoops, thanks for hanging today, bro. The Boiling Crypto, appreciate you being here. GXRP. Marwan, I appreciate you hanging, my friend. Absolutely. Kava is one of the picks, Marwan. Absolutely. Eli, thanks for hanging, my friend. Eli says, I really can't wait to see everyone prosperous and we can come back on the channel all excited and wealthy. Exactly. That's the plan. That's the plan, my friend. Morris Prince C7, thanks for hanging out, brother. Rippler is in the building. Appreciate you hanging. Thanks for letting me know about Warren Buffett. The crypto deliveries in the building. Thanks for hanging with us today. The Crypto Caveman hung out today. Appreciate you being here. Danny Kephart, as always, thanks for your help, man. Thanks for your contributions to the channel. We're going to hook up on that stuff. Trust me. All right. Got everybody. David Day, thanks again for the super chat, my friend. I appreciate that. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to wrap this video up, like to stream up like I do all my streams, and remind you of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather us remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating? Or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know. That the battle for you has already been fought. And the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye. $156. Couple 787.
Warning. Bullish content. It's here.